everyone, Miss K here. In this video, I'm going to teach you the easiest way to start your edTPA. I know how intimidating the edTPA is and how dreaded you may be feeling to begin it. I was there and I remember not wanting to start it at all. I knew it was going to be a huge project and I was very nervous to begin and a little lost as well. So we will not be going into depth into any of the edTPA tasks in this video, but I will tell you exactly what you need to know just to get going with the edTPA to start it up. So the absolute minimum of what you need to know right now to start your edTPA is the following. There are 4 tasks in the edTPA. Tasks 1 through 3 are English language arts based, and task 4 is math only. And I recommend completing the 3 steps that I'm about to talk about after your first week of student teaching and your first placement if possible. That is just the best time to start this stuff and start your edTPA and start working on it if you can. So step 1, you should be involved in some type of ELA related teaching, whether you facilitate a reading group in the classroom, whole class guided reading, or writing workshop, etc. And look through the New York State ELA standards. You can just Google them online. I type in next generation ELA standards and they come up, and then I go down to my grade level and I look through those. You need to find a reading or writing standard for the grade level you are working with. I recommend choosing a few standards that might fit into your ELA instruction and then narrow it down to one standard, discussing with your CT, which I'll talk about in a second. So the next thing you want to do is conference with your CT and choose one standard to focus on during week 7. So what I mean by this is you have to discuss with your CT and ask what they want you to be teaching around week 7 of your placement in ELA. This is important because you need to talk with your CT about those standards that you think might work, because they may have taught some of those standards already, especially if it's halfway through the year that you're coming into this classroom. They may have covered some of those standards already. You want to make sure that you don't choose one that they've already done. You want to start from the beginning with a standard. All right, step 2, creating your edTPA class. So this means what students will be included in your edTPA footage. So when you film your edTPA footage, you want a certain group of students that will be in your video for the 3 to 5 lessons that you create and film, which we will talk about when we get to tasks 1 through 3 in a more in-depth video. So this edTPA class must be 4 or more students, and it can be whole class. I chose whole class, and I will make another video explaining why I chose whole class. And then you want to try to include students in your edTPA class who have IEPs, 504 plans, or specific language or learning needs, such as English language learners. And you can ask your CT for that information. They usually will tell you. It depends on the school district and what they're allowed to tell you. But in my class personally, I had no students with IEPs or 504s or ELLs. So my other learning needs section was pretty full. Okay, step 3. So step 3 is your context for learning, and this is task 1, part A. So don't get too intimidated by hearing that. This is only the first part in the edTPA that you're going to want to start. So what you'll want to do is print out a blank copy of task 1, part A and bring it to school. Now, if you bring your laptop to school or iPad or whatever, I wouldn't recommend doing this on your phone. If you bring an electronic device, that is fine too. Just make sure that you can go back and edit it, obviously. This will not be your final copy of it. You're probably going to want to tweak it, change it around a little bit once you find out more information. So once you bring the copy to school, you want to read it and try to answer all the questions first by yourself, only in regards to English language arts. You don't have to think about math or anything else. The questions that they're asking only related to English language arts. No other subjects to start. And then there may be some questions that you don't know the answers to, or you need a little help from your CT. So conference with your CT during their off time and your off time to discuss those questions. They definitely will be able to help you with them. Mine sat down with me and helped me answer my questions that I didn't know, and that's perfectly fine. They're allowed to help you with that. So at the very end of the context for learning, it will say about the students in the class featured in this learning segment. So fill out this section according to your ELA edTPA class only. And if you choose whole class, the entire class must be considered for this section. So what I mean by this is that if you have a group of 6 students in your edTPA class, only those 6 students should be considered for this portion of the context for learning. And if you choose whole class as your edTPA group like I did, then you have to consider the entire class for this section. If you have any further questions about starting the edTPA, you can comment below or tweet me at info@misskclass, and I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. I hope this is helpful. I really know how it is to struggle with starting your edTPA, so I really, truly hope that this has helped you get going. Good luck. Thank you for watching.